It really occurred to me the other day. I was like, I should just say stuff online that I want to say, and not think about the framing of it so much and overthink every little single piece of what goes into the production. I should just record myself talking to a camera and post it online. So that's what I'm going to do. So I wanted to talk about a little something today. So don't go to college. Don't do it. Before, it was like a little bit iffy whether you should go to college or not. Now it's completely just don't go. Don't go to college. Actually, legitimately. Or if you're not open-minded to the idea, or your parents aren't open-minded to the idea of you not going to college, then just out of high school, just get a job that will pay for a place that you can live at, and just pay for rent at a place, and just live there, and spend some time to think about what you want to do with your life. Don't go to college. Legitimately. Seriously. I'm actually so serious. Do not go to college. It is such a waste of money now. Legitimately. You don't need a degree to be able to survive. And the amount of insane that college drives people, I'm sure it's for some people. If you don't have any form of ADHD and you're good at multitasking and you're good at pursuing your own stuff while you're busy with school, if you've always been good at going to school and doing living life outside of that, then sure, I'm sure you'll have a great time in college. But it also put you in debt, an absurd amount of debt. So unless you have money to spend on college, don't. Just don't. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the ones who had money to go to college with so I can pay off my debt. I'm one of those lucky people. Okay? Most people are not in my position. If I had finished college and I didn't hypothetically have the money that I did, I'd be give or take $100,000 in debt. So don't do that. Take your money, and if you have $10,000 or something in savings, right? Take $5,000 of those dollars, or $500 of those dollars, and invest them in something that you're sure will grow. Something mundane, something like concrete or steel business, something that has no chance of tanking, right? And then just wait. And the money in that account will grow faster than inflation will happen. Because the thing about banks, right, they teach you in school about, wow, compound interest. No. Compound interest is not as fast as inflation. But the market is faster than inflation. It grows faster than inflation. So if you don't want to run out of money, invest in the stock market. Okay? Invest in the stock market. Or if you have just a ton of money, invest in some weird thing that you're sure will skyrocket. Or just have the right family connections, like some people do, where they can just go oh, this stock is going to grow because it's just going to. We know it is. And then you can just invest $1 million into it and make $7 million back. Easy. Or you could work your ass off your whole life, at McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Or at a warehouse. That's another option if you want to do that. In all seriousness, it's not the worst thing in the world to just work a regular job if that's what brings you fulfillment, if you're happy with just working a regular job where all you do is flip burgers at some fast food place or work at a retail store, just enjoy yourself if that is what you want to do, honestly. There are some people who do that for 30 years and they're happy with themselves. But try to have some kind of plan for money. You have to, you can't expect the world to give you what you are entitled to, what you deserve, because that's just not how it's set up. You were lied to as a kid. College is not valuable. At least it isn't anymore. I'm sure it was in the 1800s and even into maybe the late 20th century. for the average citizen. But now, getting an English major, dude, ChatGPT exists. I'm not saying that's going to put people out of jobs. Like, calculators didn't make getting a mathematics degree useless, But, like, my point is, you got to think about the future, man. Is America going to be around in 50 years? That's an important question. Is the field of computer science going to be around in 100 years when machines do it all? That's an important question. Is the field of education going to get more or less valuable as time goes on? And which parts of it are going to be more valuable and which parts are going to be less valuable? That's an important question. What parts of our society are going to be more valuable? What parts of our society, not so much? That's an important question. These are all things you should take into account and factor into your decisions about your life, what you want to do with your life. But most importantly of all, what can you do that you can survive, that you will not hate doing? Do that. College degrees are worthless in today's economy. They really are. I mean that with 100% sincerity. They're not worthless because, you can get a degree and then you can get, well, okay, there are some exceptions. If you don't care about ethics and all you care about is money, you can get a job. Like my school that I went to, Oklahoma Christian University, they said that if you graduated with a computer science, they'd give you a job at Tinker Air Force Base. And if you worked there for a while, I forget, it was like 2 or 3 years, they would forgive you of all your student debt, but they would just pay it off. And they'd pay you really handsomely. So, there are programs that you can go through that are very, very fortunate for you. Extremely fortunate for you, depending on what you choose to do. But also, going to school and getting a business degree. Just go online. Figure out what to do. Join Discord groups. Join Facebook groups. Talk to people. Learn stuff. Learn skills. You don't need to do it at school. You can do it wherever, whenever. That's all that matters, is just like doing what you need to do with your life and making money. Because money it sure seems like it's not going anywhere. So, will the earth be in a state of peace in 30 years? That's another important question. My point is just like, I truly feel like college is useless the older I get. Originally, the joke I was thinking of when I started this recording was I'm just going to look at the camera, go, don't go to college. Not explain, not elaborate any further, and then like stare at the camera for like a minute and then end the recording. But I ended up actually talking to you, so. Take it or leave it. Also, do keep in mind that this advice is coming from me. Someone who didn't finish college and doesn't have a job. But I will tell you this. I got a job for a little bit, right? And with that job, I was able to make money and live in an apartment in my red state city. And it was a decent city. It wasn't the worst place in the world. Like I say it's not the worst. It's not horrible. It was a city. And especially with the internet, if you're like me and you can be happy doing stuff on the internet, playing video games, if all you need to do is survive for a while, just get a job somewhere and find a cheap place to live. You will not regret that decision. It will give you a space to breathe. You will no longer feel like you're a slave to the school you go to. You will have your own place to live. You can think. You can spend time being like, what do I want to do with my life? So yeah, that's my actual genuine advice is college can be useful. It can be helpful. It's for some people, but it was not for me. Or at least the college that I went to wasn't for me, and the degree at that college wasn't for me. And it took me 2.5 years to realize that. Don't do online college, actually, genuinely. I went to an online college to learn computer science, and the lessons they gave me were from the front page of Google. Literally the first result that came up when you typed the thing into Google, and that was the lessons. So, don't be spending an absurd amount of money for nothing of value whatsoever if you're not actually going to be qualified. Or, if you can get qualified by Googling stuff, there shouldn't be a college thing for it. Now, should there? So, yeah, it's my opinion that you should just not go to school after high school, not go to college, if what you plan on doing is something that you can learn how to do yourself. Or, there's also such things as trade schools. Those exist, too. I know someone who, right out of high school, the first thing they did was train to be a welder. And they're just going to weld. They didn't go to college, and now they're a welder, and they make a decent living. So, there are plenty of options out there. Don't spend... It's actually the dumbest option right now to spend an absurd amount of money on college and get into debt. You'll be thinking right now, wow, college sure is handy, sure is nifty. You won't be thinking that when you get out of college and you have to work at a dead-end job for 20 years to pay off your debt. Okay? So don't put yourself in that situation if you can avoid it. If you have a plan to pay off your debt, then you can go to college. Then it's worthwhile. But even then, I still think the value of college is dropping every single year, every single day, honestly. It feels like such a joke. So that's my opinion about going to college. I'm 24 years old. I went to college 2017, 2018, 2019, and then right at the end of 2019, I left. And I did online college for 2 trimesters, which is 2/3 of a year, and then I gave up. I was like, this is not worth it. This is stupid. They're not teaching me anything useful. So, yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I've forgotten, but I don't think there is. Don't go to college. Honestly, that's kind of I'm not trolling. But if you want to get a really high-paying job, you'll probably have to have a degree. Probably. Or you'll have to have a lot of experience. And it's hard to get that experience if no one will hire you. It's kind of a vicious cycle. It's kind of a gross way that it works. But people will trust that you know how to program if you can show them. And there's all sorts of YouTube videos online about how to get jobs in this thing without a degree or with a degree or whatever. Look it up. Google it. Do research. If you become convinced that you don't need your college degree for your field, don't do it. I'm so utterly serious. Just find literally anything else to do with your life. It is better to live paycheck to paycheck and not be $75,000 in debt than to have a really well-paying job but be a slave to it for 10 years. It's so much better to do the first thing. Because then, at any time, you might have an opportunity that can skyrocket you into being rich. Or you might decide, I don't need to be rich and I'm actually just happy like this. God forbid. So that's my actual advice. Genuinely. There you go. Invest in the stock market. And don't make risky investments. I mean, you can if you want. I'm obviously not going to stop you, but genuinely, the best long-term strategy. You won't get rich quick doing this, but you just take a bunch of money, throw it into the stock market. The larger amount, the better. And it will grow faster than inflation. It will. It is literally guaranteed to. Unless the whole entire economy collapses. But then, if that happens, that'll be the least of your worries. So, for real, do that. And it's also a decent idea to, if a recession just happened, or the prices of a bunch of stocks just went down because a recession happened, buy so much stock. It's not even funny. Now, people will tell you to diversify your portfolio. That just means don't put all your eggs in one basket. But having all your eggs in a very strong basket is fine. leading concrete companies, leading steel companies, stuff like that. That stuff grows very, very well. Okay? Now you might be asking, some of the more intelligent among you might be asking, like, where is the money coming from? Am I morally okay with making money off of this? Look, here's the black pill, okay? Unless you are like going out of your way to make the world a better place, you are not making money in a moral way. You're just not in America in current year, unless the way that you're making money is from people paying for a product that they enjoy. But we do not live in a fair world, okay? And if the system is going to be unfair and there's nothing you can do about it, then you should at least have the system work for you rather than Jeff Bezos. Or, well, you and Jeff Bezos. That doesn't make you a hypocrite. In my opinion, it does not make you a hypocrite. It's like if the school bully is beating you up every day at school and you go to the gym to get fit, right? And then the school bully's like, or no, someone else is like, okay, you get fit so that you can like get revenge or at least defend yourself against the bully. And then one of your friends is like, you getting strong makes you a hypocrite because you're no better than the intimidating bully. And it's like, no, that's not true. I'm not using this strength to intimidate anyone else. I'm just using it to be sufficient to myself. In that same way, if someone is going to partake in the evil profiteering, you may as well partake in it too if you can't stop it from happening, so that you can at least have money so that you can use that money in the future on good things that you believe in. And if many, many people do that, it will lead to a better world. That's what always ends up happening. Well, historically what happens is that people don't do that, and then everything crashes and falls apart. And then only the Chads of the world who are like capable of building things from scratch and like building whole new societies. And I say Chads like, metaphorically, obviously. Only those people get to really make anything of themselves beyond just basic survival. And things are rough for a while. And here's the thing, right? Don't worry about tomorrow, just worry about today. But I don't mean that in the sense that, like, don't plan for the future at all, just be a moron. I just mean, if you spend all your time worrying about everything that could happen, you will actually just never do anything. I speak from experience. So don't fall into that mindset. Okay? So thank you. This is me kind of just unhinged, unscripted rambling to the camera for nearly 20 minutes. I doubt any of you watched this whole thing, but if you did, yeah. Truthfully, I just want to upload another video so that the latest thumbnail isn't the pog face anymore. See you guys later.